Are you looking to start settling down to a new country and wanting to purchase land? Well, if so, make sure you watch this video before you hand over any money to help reduce any risk of being ripped off. Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me now 9 years as a full-time expat slash nomad. I left the United States in 2015, and I'm now on my fourth country, third continent in the southern region of Africa in Lusaka, Zambia. And one of the things I started doing is sharing with you some of the tips and tricks that I've learned along this 9 year journey. And most importantly, sharing with you in case you're thinking about becoming an expat or already is one and looking for a new place to go to, why you should start considering Zambia as a viable option due to all the opportunities and the low cost of living here compared to other parts of the world. So in this video, we're going to actually talk about some of the strategies and the things that I do behind the scenes you don't get to see when I'm doing some of my short videos and just explaining to you the opportunities and the things that I'm taking advantage of while I'm here. And so, yes, you see me talking about a lot about how I'm looking for land, purchasing land, even telling you some of the costs that I'm seeing from some of the land deals that are coming my way. Like even I shared in one of my videos how I'm waiting to go get interviewed from the city council about 8 hours from here in the area they're about to newly start developing, and how that's working hand in hand with the government to actually help build a better Zambia. And I feel like this is one of the things that a lot of expats, a lot of Americans, even people from the UK, they should be considering and thinking about while they're looking for different places to go abroad, but also different ways to make money. Like, let me be very clear with you. Like, there's nothing wrong with making money. Coming to countries, especially countries in Africa, they need people who are in that mindset of making money because that's going to create jobs and boost the economy of that country. And so I'm all for that. However, I want you to understand, like, be safe about it. Don't come here with rose-colored glasses and seeing everything from a loving perspective. You need to understand the same things that go on in your home country are the same things that go on in any other country in the world. And that's one of the things I'm always going to be very honest about. So, yes, people will rip you off here if you give them an opportunity. So make sure you protect yourself. Um, if you're getting ripped off for a little bit, dollars here and there, you're not going to be angry. But if you get ripped off for large amounts, it's going to make you frustrated, man. I've seen it time and time again, no matter what country I go to, from Panama to Colombia. I've heard about things of it in Thailand, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica. I can't even remember the name of that. Ecuador, where some young man was actually arrested. Guatemala. So, like, I've been in the expat community for a while, and you hear the horror stories. And one of the things that I like to do is learn from other people's mistakes. So, I don't have to learn that mistake. At least don't have to learn it from such a grand scale as they did. And so the first thing that I suggest is look for land that is very, very low priced. Try to get as low price as possible. And when I say low price, look for low priced based off the economy of the country that you're going to. Like here, where I'm living in Ibex, Meanwood, you can get a plot for 800,000 kwacha, which is maybe about 32 to 40,000 US dollars. Now, based off US dollars prices in America, that is very affordable. I'm going to be honest with you. However, here in this economy, that is very, very expensive. So think about it. Is someone going to take a more of a chance to probably rip you off for $40,000 here? If you're coming with that in cash, of course. Even in the U.S., if you come with $40,000 cash, someone's going to try to rip you off a lot faster than compared to maybe 1,000 or 2,000 US dollars. And so you want to look for some of the more cheaper properties first. And the reason being is take the chances on less money than more money. And like, even if you're finding stuff with title deeds here, just like the same way people can rip off and make fake title deeds in the US, the same thing can happen here. So don't come with the mentality like, oh, this is a title deed, this has to be legit. Do your due diligence. You need to find out, what do you need to know? What has to be signed from what municipalities? Do you need to go to a tax office? Do you need to see the whoever does the survey of the land? Like, you have to do all of your due diligence before you just hand over money to people. Like, please hear me on that. Don't get caught up on being in the continent and people sharing the same pigmentation of your skin as if, oh, this person's going to do me right. I can tell you right now, I don't do a lot of business with family. And it don't mean I don't love my family, but it means I recognize who they are and I accept them for who they are. And so coming here, you don't know people. You don't know who they are. So you don't know how to accept them yet. You're just coming on blind faith that this person's going to do right by you. And most people who are going to rip you off, they speak a great game. I'm going to be real with you. They speak a great game. So be cautious of that. So you want to start out a little bit more on the cheaper side first to understand the ropes. Like, it's better to have those growing pains for maybe a few $100s, maybe up to $1,000, than have that growing pain on 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, or up to $100 some $1,000. Like, please hear me on that. Second thing is, when you're gonna find a piece of land that you can purchase, even if you have all the cash, do not pay all the cash. You need to pay in installments. You need to make sure that person's not going to just run away with your money. If you're paying something over 10 or 12 months, it's least likely that person's going to be running away with your money. However, if you give somebody a bunch of money up front, there's a high possibility that they would run away with it. So that's the second thing that I do. I always make sure I'm able to do installments. Even with purchasing the land with the city council, I'm doing installments once they approve me to start paying. Like, I'm not paying them all the cash up front. The land in Westwood, I'm paying installments on. Even though I have the cash for it, I'd rather pay installments. It not only lets the person who's selling me the land build trust with me, it's letting me build trust with them. It's a quid pro quo. It's a mutual beneficial relationship there. So please listen to that part. Like, don't just give people large sums of money up front. This is something I see Americans do a lot. I saw so much of this in Panama, Colombia, and it's scary. And when you see, even if they're doing it through someone or an entity that's legit, when you see the fear that's going through their eyes, the fear that they're talking about, because sometimes when you're dealing with international banking, transferring, and things like that, there's a lot of lack of communication. It doesn't mean that they're all trying to be scammy. It's just some entities in different countries, they just don't operate the same way. And they don't operate on just clear, open dialogue like some countries or some entities do in your home country. So please be aware of that. The third thing that I really want to drive home is, like, don't be in a dire need. Don't be so in a rush to get property. It is better to lose property and you find something that's legit than to be in a rush. Like, if a person is trying to rush you, like, hey, you need to give me the money now, you need to pump the brakes and be like, you know what? Let me wait a week or two. I don't have all the funds right now. And see how they act. Like, if you're going out looking at property and someone's just telling you out of nowhere, oh, well, I have someone else that's willing to pay to get it. So why are you bringing me out here to look at it? Like, don't let someone put you in a rush. The more that someone's trying to rush you, the more likely they're probably trying to scam you. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just being honest. And then I'll be honest with you too, and this is just an extra tip with you. I like to know the motivating factors of why someone is selling land. Minus it being like a headman or a chief, which is something completely different. Like, if it's a private person selling land, like, what is your motivating factors? And for me, usually if it's not a family motivating factor, I'm not really too interested in purchasing. And the reason being is, when someone is doing something to better the lives of their family, just like you're probably doing if you're thinking of leaving over your home country to go overseas to give your family better opportunities, they're less likely to scam you because they don't want to put themselves in trouble. If they put themselves in a legal bind, then most likely they know, like, my family's not going to be able to eat. Who's going to take care of my family if I'm gone? Especially if it's a man. When you're dealing with men, like if they're doing stuff for their next generation of family, their children and stuff, especially things like getting them through college or just making sure they have money set aside so in case they're not here tomorrow. Those are great motivating factors, and those are usually going to be the people that are most honest. Just being real with you here. And so, like, really do your due diligence. Like, all of it isn't just about the legality stuff of the country you're going to. A lot of it is too, like the social aspect. Like, get to understand the person that you're dealing with. And then also on top of that, do not hand over money to someone without having a copy of their NRC. That is the national registration card. That national registration card is how you do everything legit here in this country. I'm telling you right now, 'cause I've had people contact me like, hey, can you find out the other ways without needing to be a resident, without having an NRC? No, I'm not even looking down those avenues. If you want to go find those avenues, you can, but do that at your own risk. I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to say this again. Everything legally here in this country needs to be done using a national registration card, NRC. If you're trying to find or someone's trying to do business with you and they're not willing to share their NRC, you need to walk away. Please listen to me on that. I don't want to be getting messages like, Jason, he told me I can get this much land because I'm a foreigner and I don't need an NRC. You need an NRC, or it needs to be done with someone who has an NRC that you trust. If you're dealing with land from city councils and things like that, you may need to have a Zambian purchasing the land with you. It doesn't matter if you're the person that's going to be the financial background of it. You may need a Zambian on that application with you. That's what I did for the land that I'm getting through the city council. So I'm telling you this up front, like, be very cautious. I don't want to see you getting ripped off, man. I want you to come here. I want you to come to the continent, come to Zambia, not only make a bunch of money, but be able to help empower the other people that are here. Because the more that people are coming here with the entrepreneurial mindset, the ability to farm, the ability to create businesses, you're building residential houses for people to live in. You're not only making money off of it because you're doing a great thing, you're making money off of it because you're doing something spiritual that is actually empowering the next man. And it goes back to as is above is below. What you're doing to help out the next person, those blessings have to come to you in return. And so I just wanted to share that with you because I don't want you coming here getting ripped off. I've been in the game of this traveling from country to country for 9 years. Yes, Zambia has some of the most affordable land prices I've seen in the world. Yes, Zambians are really great people. However, you still have that little mix of bad people in here too. And the sad truth is, just like in the United States, most of us good people that coming from the U.S., you know what we're doing most of the time? We're working, trying to provide for our families. You know who's not usually? The bad people there. And so that same concept go here. So when you come here, you have all of this free time because you're looking around. Sometimes you're going to be seeing some of the bad people before you really get to see the good people, because a lot of them are working. Like I tell people, like where I live, great people working here, hard working people. But you know what? You don't get to see them much. They're working. They're providing for their family. Paying these rents here, it don't just come picking money off the tree. Like, they're busting their butt. They're making a sacrifice. And so if you're going to make that sacrifice and move to another country to better not only your life, but the potential of your family and the next generations, take the time to get to know the right people. Find out what are the motivating factors of people. I always say, and I always trust, if your motivating factor is the betterment and empowerment of your family, you're most likely a good person. And you're going to see those good qualities and good deeds come out. Just because people speak different languages, just because we have different cultural backgrounds, good people are good people. Trust me. That's how I was even able to make it through Colombia. Like, there's so much negative publicity on Colombia now. but I've met some of the best people in the world living in Colombia for 3.5 years, and I still love them till this day. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below. Now, I wanted to show you too, I'm doing the dual screen so you can see the house that's being built across the street from me. Like, these are just some of the houses that's being built. You can do those type of constructions, regular single family homes. I know I've been seeing questions through the community on what are some of the houses that can be built. It's up to you. Whatever you want to build. There's a big mega mansion being built just a little bit outside, about 20-minute walk from here. Looks beautiful, by the way. I think they say it's one of the richest guys out here in Zambia. But yeah, I just wanted to show that to you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If there's anything that I missed and you're someone who's been living overseas, whether you're in Zambia or another country, and if there's something you want to add in, leave it down below. 2025 and forward, we need to just be sharing. We need to be collaborating. The more we help the other person, the more we're actually helping ourselves also. And just remember this, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.